Hi guys, Ray from Whimsical Pictures here, back for the next installment of my more in-depth manga bookshelf tour. This is a little high up for my tripod, so forgive any shakiness. I have shaky hands. But the next one will be totally stable, I promise. This is my oversized bookshelf. But as you can see, this top shelf only just has a last little bit of standard size manga, so we're going to go through that first. First is not a manga at all, but this novel. You can see it is prose. I found this at an antique bookstore. It seems to be from a collection of pre-war shoujo shosetsu, or girls' novels, all with illustrations done by Nakahara Junichi. And this is just one in that series. I think it's a really pretty little coffee table book, and I have an interest in pre-war shoujo bunka, so I got that when I was at Nakano Broadway. Next we have this series, which is a weird one to talk about. This is Yureito by Nogizaka Taro. It is complete in 9 volumes. This series I actually love, but it is problematic. We'll say that. This is a series about this guy here. What's his name? Amano Taichi. Who is like a NEET. He just stays at home and reads like grotesque mysteries. It's a particular genre of like detective novels from this era. It takes place in the 1950s in Japan, stuff like Ranpo Edogawa and Godzilla, actually, that he's really into. These like bizarre, true crime type of stuff. He is an absolute nerd for that stuff. To the point where he never leaves his house. He's got social anxiety or whatever. But, through a series of circumstances, I'll say, he ends up partnering with this boy, Tetsuo, who's on the cover, looking very handsome, to search the nearby Phantom Tower for a supposed treasure that hides in the labyrinth in the basement. And of course, there's also the reason that this is called the Phantom Tower is because prior to the story's start, a few years prior, there was a murder that occurred at the tower where this mysterious girl named Reiko murdered her stepmother and hung her on the clock, very similarly to how Taichi is hung here. So Reiko knows how to move the clock, and no one else does. No one else knows how to navigate the labyrinth in the basement of this Phantom Tower. And, of course, the twist is that Tetsuo is, in fact, the same person as this Reiko, but he is not like a Mulan type of cross-dresser. He is, in fact, a transgender man. And, he's not just hiding his quote-unquote, true gender, his birth gender as a woman, in order to escape the law. He is trying to escape the law and also live as his true and authentic self. And yeah, it's just about Taichi and Tetsuo getting deeper and deeper embroiled in the scandals of the Phantom Tower as more and more murders get caught up in it that seem to be unrelated to this Reiko incident. Or are they? And also the sort of budding friendship and then maybe more between these two boys. And it is not unproblematic in its portrayal of its queer protagonist. protagonists, I should say. Taichi is bisexual, but I still liked it a lot anyway. It's fun. It's really pulpy and dumb, and Tetsuo and Taichi are both really likable protagonists. There's a lot of really like pulpy, gross horror in here. I enjoyed it. The art's really pretty as well. So I'm not gonna look at some of the covers in the middle there because there are some folks in various states of undress. Um, but yeah, if you like that genre, I think it's a fun series to read. If you are looking for good trans male representation, uh, there's just so little trans male representation, right? It's like I understand the impulse, like you have to take what you can get, and I think that Tetsuo is a very lovable protagonist. He's very much a dashing mystery novel hero. But the way that the series leers at his body is just not okay, and almost revels in his gender dysphoria is just weird. But it also does like have a nice message about like, you know, the need for societal change and like accepting people who are different from the societal norm. And like it doesn't it very much does validate his gender in the end, but I don't know. It's got good points and it's got really, really bad points, so you kind of have to judge it for yourself, I think. And obviously not own voices. Nogizaka Taro is a cis man who is very attracted to the female form, I would say. Next we have, what the hell is this? Aoshima-kun wa Ijiwaru. This just, like, I kept seeing ads for it on Twitter, and I thought the guy was cute. And it's kind of a fake marriage thing, I think. So I just grabbed the first volume to see if I'd like it, but I have not read it yet. And we have the first volume of Mars Red, because I was very interested in this when it was picked up to be released in English, and I don't know, I guess I couldn't wait. This is a lot more conventional in terms of storytelling and style than the way that the anime is going. And I enjoyed the first volume, but I think the anime is more interesting. But I will still be buying this because Taisho era, cross-dressing, Mulan, like, journalist character, vampires, yeah. Here we have all 4 volumes of Kanojo. Kimi, nandattakke? Kanojo ni naritai Kimi to Boku. Wow. There they are. I also got the signed one, so that's nice. This is just a really sweet little LGBT series about this girl here and this girl here who in high school, this is them later on in life, I think, but basically, she is, just at the start of her physical transition, and she's making a big step at the beginning of the series, which is that she's received permission to wear the female school uniform instead of the male school uniform at her new high school. So she is wearing the sailor uniform for the first time, and she's very nervous. Her friend here, sort of in solidarity, I guess, decides to wear the boys' school uniform just so that her friend isn't the only one getting bullied, if that ends up being the case. And things kind of go from there. They sort of form a little friend group with these other 2 girls. Of course, it turns out that Akira-chan here, she's not the only member of the LGBTQ community in our ensemble cast. So we explore various different identities in a similar way to like Our Dreams at Dusk, or Wandering Sun, I guess. And it's just very, very sweet and cute, and just like, I love the friendship between these girls. It feels so natural. It feels like, my little circle of friends in high school, and I just enjoyed it a lot. So I bought the box set when it was kickstarted. So far, this is the only way to own the series in full in print. You can get the first 2 volumes in print. Those were released, like, mass market. And then the series you can read digitally in English on, which one? Mangamo? I'll check that and put the link in the description. Next, we have volumes 1 to 5 caught up of Ten Dance. This is a BL. That's not healthy. This is a BL about ballroom dancing. It's very sexy, I would say. There's not a lot of sex in it. There was in a little bit in the most recent volume, and I think that that's going to be more and more. But it's like the sexual tension between these two. You could cut it with a knife. It's fantastic slow burn. A lot of fun to read. Yeah, I love these dudes. Excited to get more volumes. And we've got, Victor and Yuri and Makajin there. And Misato. Bye-bye, Misato. Here we've got more English volumes. So 10 dances in English. The others up on that shelf were not. This is Blank Canvas, volumes 1 to 5 complete by Akiko Higashimura. This was so fantastic. It's my favorite series that I've read from Akiko Higashimura, who can be a bit hit or miss for me, to be honest. The way that she has such a sense of humor about herself, and yet the way that she can really derive so many layers of meaning from looking back into her past and really examining the relationship that she has with this particular art teacher that she had. The way she's so willing to criticize her past self, but also understand where her past self was at. I really enjoyed this. Excellent. And that's from someone who's not usually a big fan of the, autobiographical manga. This one hit hard. This was great. Next, we have Cherry Magic. 30 Years of Virginity Can Make You a Wizard. Volumes 1 to 2. This had such a cute drama that I know you can watch on Crunchyroll. With English subtitles, so that is available, and I highly recommend it. It was so cute. I was squealing every week. Despite the title, this is such an adorable office romance. The whole, goofy premise, I guess, is that he turns 30, and suddenly he is capable of reading the minds of anyone he touches, and he finds out through that magic power that this coworker he has, who is an absolute type A, everyone loves him, super popular with girls, the exact opposite of our frumpy main protagonist, actually has a big dumb crush on him in the sweetest way possible. And he is extremely socially awkward. He is a 30-year-old virgin, so he has no idea what to do with that information. And things go from there, and it is so cute. It's so cute. It's one of my favorite BL coming out right now. And like I said, I do recommend that drama. Next, we have Claudine, little one-shot by Ryoko Ikeda. This is the creator of The Rose of Versailles, which you'll see later. This is notable for being one of the earliest manga to sympathetically portray a transgender protagonist. In this case, it is this Claudine, who is a trans man, has relationships with various women throughout this book, and then meets a tragic end at the end of the story. And it's very much, the LGBTQ, like, tragedy type of trope. It also misgenders the character throughout the whole thing. I mean, it kind of uses the wrong name for him on the cover. So, like, it's dated. It's dated. It's from the 70s. But it's beautiful. It's Ryoko Ikeda. And it's just so pretty. I will take absolutely any 70s shoujo that I can get. Because it's so beautiful. We're going to put that up there for now. This can be a long one. We have Cocoon Entwined here. This is one of my favorite yuri coming out right now. It's a really hard one to explain, but it is about a secluded, prestigious girls' school deep in the woods, known for its beautiful school uniforms. And one particular thing about those uniforms, which is that they are made out of the students' own hair. And if hair grosses you out, you're not going to like this. There's a lot of big, tangled, roiling masses of hair. But if you can get past that, of course, the hair is a metaphor for a lot of different things, but especially about societal ideals of femininity and female relationships. Feminine traditions that end up, that start out, I guess, as a way to shelter and protect women in a society that hates them. But eventually, you know, those traditions themselves grow old and stale and get mixed up in the sexist basis that they come from and become oppressive, become entrapping and entangling. And I'm not entirely sure what this series is going to end up saying about all this, but it is fascinating. There's so many layers of meaning here. I believe Ikuhara is a fan of this. And it, like, in any case, like, if you are a fan of Ikuhara, of Utena, or Penguin Drum, or what have you, Yuri Kumarashi, I think you would get a kick out of this. And as you just saw, the art is so, so beautiful. Just, like, I'll turn the page and just be like, ha, it's so pretty. Next, we have The Conditions of Paradise. Speaking of Yuri Kumarashi, this is the character designer. 3 volumes of short stories by Akiko Morishima. A lot of the stories interconnect because Akiko Morishima likes to return to characters that she's already come up with and write new stories about them. That's just kind of always been her MO. Yeah, some of them are smutty, some of them are not. I just love her girls so much. I love that she mostly writes about adult working women, and I enjoy these a lot. I hope we get more Akiko Morishima in the future. I would love to get Renai Joshika, which we'll get to in a future shelf. Last 3, I'll try to make it quick. Hell's Paradise, Jigoku Raku by Yuji Kaku. I have volumes 1 to 6. I don't remember if that's caught up or if I'm missing one, but this, I wasn't sure about at first, but a couple different friends kept telling me that I would like it. And they were right. I love this. I started it digitally, but I loved it enough to continue in print. This is about a mysterious, monstrous island and a group of death row criminals who are sent there by the government to try and obtain an elixir of eternal life in exchange for pardoning. Each criminal is paired with an executioner who is there to immediately slit their throat should they stop trying to find this elixir. This is the main character, Gabimaru's executioner. And this is great. I love Gabimaru. He's just trying to get back to his wife. You know, he used to be this incredibly notorious ninja called Gabimaru the Hollow, who, you know, couldn't feel anything, would just topple mountains of enemies in a sea of blood. But, like, after settling down with his wife, he's become a lot more mellowed out. But he's still dealing with the trauma from his past and the toxic upbringing he comes from. And each of the prisoners, even if they're not particularly good people, they're all, like, I love every single one of them at this point. These two in particular are, like, a mess. A mess. But I love both of them, though. They're great. And the monsters on this island are so cool. They've got kind of a mess of different Eastern religions, like, congealing together into this twisted mass kind of vibe to them. And they're so cool. And you should read Hell's Paradise. It's great. Next we have Heterogenea Linguistico, Volume 1, An Introduction to Interspecies Linguistics, which is exactly what it sounds like. This is one of those sort of low-key manga, like, fantasy series along the lines of, like, Delicious in Dungeon that just picks a particular niche career and places it in a fantasy world. In this case, this guy's a linguistics student, and he is going around two different, like, monster habitats. I think he's in, like, the demon world or something. So he's traveling around with his professor's half-werewolf daughter, here, first to the werewolf's home, and then he learns about slimes, he learns about, like, krakens, he learns about, what are they? Like, harpies or something? Lizard men as well. And all of their various, like, linguistic traits. So, like, werewolves can only make particular sounds with their canine mouths. And some of those are sounds that humans can't make. But, you know, they also have this crazy sense of smell. So a lot of their communication happens through scent, which is something that he can't do at all because he's a human. So it's like learning how to communicate with different species despite those limitations, and learning how, for example, the werewolves and lizard folk communicate when they're trading, when lizard folk really can't make the same sounds that werewolves can. And as a language nerd, this was really fun, and I'm looking forward to more. This one came damaged. Oh well. And then we have Land of the Lustrous, volumes 2 through 8. I do have volume 1, but it's in America. And I have volumes 9 to 10 down here. So I think I'm going to leave this video off right here, and we will talk about Land of the Lustrous next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.